that any relationship will experience. So now we are talking about how do you know that he or she is the one. And I do not have a he alone here. I also have a she in the house. Like this is a family conversation. And I don't want to take more time because, we only have 1 hour to have this conversation. And I have, I don't know if say my friends, or these are people I look up to. I sat somewhere and they were having a conversation around marriage. And I was like, I have to get them here. And we are here today. Karibuni sana.
Asante, thank you.
Just get closer to the mic, don't worry. Yeah. So, for those who do not know you, let me start with my senior there. Just to introduce yourself, can you introduce the family before we get into the conversation?
Thank you, Mankaris. My name is Peter Macharia, and maybe first is to greet the listeners.
Nice.
Good afternoon, listeners, and Happy New Year. It's such a joy to be here at the beginning of the year. And I think with the discussions that we're going to have, definitely you can only get better with time. My name is Peter Macharia, and I'm in the studio with my wife, Anne Nyawira. She'll introduce herself. We've been married now slightly over 25 years. So it's quite some experience.
25?
25 years, quarter century we've been together.
Zango tunapika nini leo? Wow, congratulations, 25 years.
Yes. So basically, this area of relationships, we have been at it for many years because we've been heading the married people's ministry in our church for quite a number of years. We've been involved in premarital counseling for almost 10 years or more. Yeah. Yes. And many times we also step back to talk to people who are in high school and colleges and young professionals on relationships as we tell people marriage still works.
Wow, what an introduction. Marriage still works. 25. Yeah, I think I got 3 last year. Niko bado na crawl.
You get there. Yes.
True. Yeah, so thank you, Peter. My name is Anne. As Peter has said, I'm so happy to be here. And relationships, marriage are my passion and our passion. We have counseled many couples. There's a time actually someone said, this is a professional best man and a best lady. And we are glad that we've helped quite a number of people in a small way, and glad to be here so that we can have a conversation towards having relationships that can last and that are founded on some solid grounds. Yeah, good to be here.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
I feel at home.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to have a series of conversations, not just only this topic we are having here, because we intend to cover a lot, even in what people talk about in premarital counseling. We just bring it here and have these conversations. But we're starting with, how do you know that he or she is the one? How did you know she was the one?
Interesting question.
Let's start there before. Like young people are already saying, we want to know, we want to know, we want to know, we want to know.
Yes. Maybe to go back, we met in KU. Both of us were students in KU. She was behind me with 1 year. And the beginning point is, of course, knowing each other. I had gone for teaching practice. I'm a Bachelor of Education. And when I was there, somebody told me, go and look for this lady. We used to preach with her in open-air crusades and say hi to her. And make sure you bring her for my wedding. So sometimes you can get to know somebody through a very interesting way. That's how I got to know her. And after that, we continued talking, nothing said, simply trying to understand one another, trying to know each other. And with time, you realize your values seem to be syncing very well. When I'm around her, I'm feeling I can say anything. And she'll not judge me. Because most of the people you tend to be more guarded. This time I realized with her, I was feeling it was very easy to talk to her. I was feeling my heart yearns for her. You can feel the missing part of it. Yeah. When the person is away. And in KU, you are exposed to so many thousands of ladies. But this one, the heart seemed to have caught my heart,
Ah.
caught my attention. We could sit and talk for hours. So basically, it started narrowing. There's a model that I had read about some times back on how people get to know each other. It's a model by a doctor called John Van Epp. Epp for EPP. And the model says it is important for you to take time to know each other and know each other very well. Where you understand the person's interests, where you understand all they do. Are they Christians? What are your belief systems? Are you the same? Then once you get to know a person very well, now you start trusting them, because you see there's somehow a link, a connection. This person, you can talk to them. They are not the type who payuka, they will say everything. And even your interests. Sometimes you may go with somebody who thinks very highly of themselves. This one, is she listening to me? Is she giving me time to speak? Or is she the know-it-all? So that knowing, then you're able to trust the person. Once you can be able to trust the person with your secrets, with what's about you, with your dreams, with your goals, then from there, you realize that now you can rely on them. That once you agree on something, she'll actually do it. When you agree to meet at this time, she'll not have excuses. And our time of relationship, there were no mobile phones. So, and at one point, we were relating, she was in Adamavin, I'm in Nairobi. So if you agree you're meeting in Nakuru at this hotel at this time, it had to be that time.
It had to happen.
It had to happen.
Wow.
So it was to be handled that cautiously. So that's the third step, relying on each other. Then if you notice that somebody, you already know them very well, you can trust them, they're keeping your secrets, they're keeping your information and so on, you are relying on them now, you are, connecting very well. Now from there you can commit to the person. You commit to the person. That is the stage now.
Process.
There's a process. So after studying her, I got to know now, this one I can commit to. I know. My dad asked me, you went all this far to look for this lady. But, he didn't know that we were schooling together and so on. But meaning by the time you commit to the person, it means that you are ready now to give everything, to be vulnerable to the person, to open up. And finally, now you can go to the last step of touch. Now, unfortunately today, 2 dates and what washaanza.
Ni kweli, even one. And it has become a sensitive topic.
Yes.
That even if you have it on air, you might even be called so many names. People have even lost their jobs because of speaking against those one night things.
Wow.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing about here,
Yes.
or me, I don't lie. It's causing a lot of unnecessary hurts.
That is true.
Even not only the deaths that we see, that's the extreme side of it, but the hurts, they're so unnecessary.
Yes. Unnecessary hurts. So Dr. John says, don't skip any of those steps. Keep on evaluating and seeing, do I know the person? Took time to know the person. Can I trust her? Can I rely on her? Then go to commitment. And then from there, now, you can be allowed to touch. And as a Christian, of course, you must know the limits of the touch. That is very important. So basically, it is after observing her and seeing the way we are going that I was able to tell this one is striking me differently.
Was the same happening on your side?
Yeah, true. The first thing that really struck me was about his faith and level of trust in God. He was a born-again believer. For me, that was an irreducible minimum. So we had to be of the same faith. So when I met him, got to know he's born again, that, and I discovered that he had grown a bit. He had a serious commitment to his faith in God. Now, that sticked for me. And then the other thing that really I liked, after some months of friendship and getting to know one another, I introduced him to my siblings. There's an auntie, an uncle, and my sisters who are studying at the universities around. So we would go to visit them with him. And I liked the way he treated them. I was like, wow, he loves my people.
Ah.
And I was like, yeah, that is it. Then his value system, his language, looked at his goals. I'm also a teacher, so we were doing B.Ed, not the same combination, not the same year. So as we talked, I got to know that he has the same goals as I did. Something like studying further, getting married, having children. Now, the other thing I liked, we attended a birthday party together, and I think I also visited his brother with him. All this time, our parents do not know. And I liked the way he loved children. Oh, we'd get to a house and he'd leave the children. I'm like, I want this man. Yeah, so those things ticked for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like, I've asked you that question, like you've preempted some of the things you wanted to tell us. But it's also okay, you get to know, you remember the story. Some of us out there, 25 years later, you can remember everything, That speaks a lot. Now, I have these young guys out here. Kinawaramba kwa relationship sana. Anaenda, inagonga mwamba. Najaribu, some of them are like, on this particular thing, I don't want, I'm cast, believing like that. But also on the other side, they don't want to be told, you did it the wrong way or you approached this the wrong way and stuff. So we are here to tell them the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And I like that you say there are steps out there. So let me start with you, Mr. Macharia. And I'll ask this as an open question, as we had said, this is the topic we're going to talk about. How does one know he or she is the one? And maybe talk to a brother. How does this young man know this lady he is the one?
Yes, thank you very much. And I want to believe that in the past we've been looking at situationship where people have related widely. One of the things that we have always said is that do not be very quick to narrow to a particular individual. Take your time. What happens was, the years before us, actually even during my time, most schools were mixed schools. So people learned together, boys and girls, and you're never excited. But for some of us who are in boys' school, going to KU and now finding it's a free-for-all, many lose it. They don't know how to handle the freedom. They don't know how to still maintain the focus they had. But if you can maintain that focus and be clear on this is the person I am and I'll have to be different. Because the problem is when you are tilted by the wave. The wave, everybody is doing it, therefore you also want to do it. So as a young man there or a young lady out there, and now you have been able to understand boys or men and the ladies or girls, this is the way they carry themselves and so on. And you have interacted with so many of them. And now you start looking at what was I looking for in a relationship. I'll tell you, Mankaris, I started studying about marriage in that year at the university.
Wow.
I forgot to carry a book that I used to write my notes. I still have it, And because I knew this institution, I may not have enough time to study, like I'm studying for my career. Yet I'll stay with this person longer than I'll stay working. Because if God gives us years into our 90s, we'll be married for about 70 or more years.
Wow. Nice.
So, yes. So, if I'll stay with her for 70 years, and the education, in the next few years, I'll be told you are due for retirement and so on, or an employer feels, it means I need to prepare more for relationship than even I prepare for career. But for career, you remember the day you went to baby class, primary school, high school, university or college, you are preparing for career. And after that, a lot of seminars, organizations keep on retraining people. But we don't want to go for counseling or for training on issues of relationship. By the end of it, you may easily be swayed by, does he have money? Or does she look like this? Beauty fades. I wanted somebody who we can be friends with. I love going to watch volleyball. I don't play volleyball despite my height.
Booster.
But I wanted somebody that we can be going with for morning jogging. You know, I wanted somebody we can sit and talk for hours. I wanted somebody I can go with for a holiday and you don't get tired. So, because what happens is that love sometimes, you know, that emotion,
Yeah.
it is very energy consuming. And sometimes it wavers. Sometimes you feel it is not as high as it was the other day and so on. That's why friendship becomes very important.
Wow.
And when I saw her, there's a way she greeted me because I finished university, went out. We had known each other, nothing much, but I had written a word she told me when I was leaving college. I wrote it down in that book of mine.
Wow.
Then I meet her when I was going to pick my certificate. And she tells me I'm staying in this room. So later on when I was going to KU, I visited her. And she said it in my mother tongue. And I thought this lady has the use of language is just amazing, you know. So, and later on, we could write each other letters. Remember, there were no mobile phones, but you could write each other letters or cards. Every week, there's something going out. And, you know, in a letter, you really write. Today, with the short SMSs and WhatsApp and so on, you don't communicate really what your feelings are.
You start with umekula,
Yeah.
umeshiba.
No, that one is introduction, the little body, and a conclusion that will make her remember you for the next 1 week before the next one comes. So it was easy to see this one we can be friends with. And I started narrowing to her. I knew she was the one.
Wow. So what I'm getting, or what you're telling us is, you know, somebody, first of all, who is a friend, you know, like look for a friend. Is she a friend? Yeah. And when you're talking about these people you meet once in a while and even go the whole mile, and there's no friendship there. So maybe you might also start reconsidering some of the commitments you are committing out there.
True.
And narrowing. I wish I had that earlier because anyway, I did mistakes before I got the one I narrowed. Maybe ningekuwa mbali sana. Let's just say God had, you know, his own plans. But you know, it's heavy for the youths today. They want things haraka. You can even have a conversation around when it's too soon to get married or and you know, it will be, you will have that conversation between leo na kesho na kesho kutwa, and you'll never settle on the timing. But the truth is you need to know the person.
Yes, because like I got to know her in 1994, but we only married in 1998. So we had 4 years, 2 years of knowing each other before I narrowed the last 2 years.
Wow. Mrs. Mashari.
Yes.
This girl or lady tuned in right now. You know, there's somebody around there.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's wondering now, Kariswa are talking about how to know. What are some of the things that she can look at and say, you know, upper correct.
First of all, you got to have a plan for your life. I forgot to say that when we were now getting into a friendship, and of course there's something that is telling you this thing is going to go beyond the elbow, you know. It was at that particular time, because I had a plan. I had said I will not get married before, first of all, I graduate. And then I work for about a year or two, because I wanted to experience that freedom of a girl having her own money and traveling the world. I really needed, because I was involved in Christian missions and all that. Then, like, I would like to go to such and such a place, go preach here and there. I would also want to have my own house. I would like to rule my life for some time before I commit, or rather before I get into a relationship, in a marriage that is going to last forever. So the timing. He came just before that time. He has mentioned that he came slightly before he left college. You know, that is when we met. And that is when we talked, because that was 94 and he left in 95. So around that time, and I left in 96. So I knew around that time, 94, 95, when if he makes his intentions clear, 95, then we have maybe 2 or 3 years to do whatever it is that we need to know about each other, and then we can get married. So timing was very important, and it is very important. Do you have a plan? Are they coming at the time you really would want to get married? Or if somebody comes at 19, you jump at it and say, hurrah, it has come. Ndio huyu. Mungu amemleta. No, it doesn't work like that. Now, God is in the business of also making our aspirations and our desires come to be.
That's true.
So have your desires, right? Have a plan for your life. Then you will know. And once you commit them to God, you'll know when this person comes at a particular time, then he might be the one. Because it's at this particular time that I really would have wanted to get into a relationship, you know. Exactly. So set your goals right, have a plan, and then you can tell at what juncture they are coming in. Life is not just a do thing where you do and all things just happen. You need to have a plan for your life, and God has given us the brains and everything that we need to have plans for our lives. Now, the other thing, like I had said earlier, is about faith. You may not want to compromise on faith.
A lot of compromising out there.
Yes. Yeah. Now, the Bible has enough teachings on the people we need to get into lifelong relationships with. It says, do not get unequally yoked. Then Paul, also talking to widows, talks about if your husband passes on, you're free to marry, only that person be in the Lord. So those are some of the things that now a girl should look at. Are we of the same faith? Because faith ultimately affects the value system. You don't want somebody you'll get into a relationship today, then tomorrow they tell you, no, go and forge something. And this is your spouse. So you need a value system that is similar, that is based on the faith. Then another thing that I mentioned a little earlier is, do you have similar goals? For example, does this person want to have children? Because people get into lifelong commitments. They get married. One person wants children. The other one does not want. So family is very important. And these are some of the things. Now, when we were coming, Peter was telling me about a friend of his who got a separation that's about a month ago. And they separated because of the way this person is treating her relatives. So the way somebody treats your people, and whether they love children, they love family people and stuff like, because nowadays we have people who say, I don't like people, I don't like talking. I'm not interested in family and stuff like that. Can you buy into that? Are you ready to live with a person who doesn't even want even to visit your people, who doesn't want to hear or have any children, and stuff like that? So you really need to look at their family aspirations. Do they want 10 children? Do you want 2? Can they marry? And this is what I was talking about, value system. Are you going to have a relationship with somebody who tells you outrightly that I would like to have 2 wives? Right? And therefore you put yourself in a situation whereby you can't do that because of your value system and your faith. So you got to navigate around that, around faith, around their values, and what they are as a person. Then the other thing, how do they treat you? Is there respect beyond attraction?
Nice one.
Because it is very important that somebody does not demean you and you can tell. And that is why it is very important that you don't just get into a relationship, the two of you, and you close yourself in a cocoon, that it will be a surprise. No! Visit people. Visit Mankaris. Go to your uncle. Visit your friend. Tell them, I have come with my friend for a cup of tea. So that you see this somebody in their natural setting. And you learn what exactly, how exactly do they treat others? And how are they treating you? Because ultimately somebody who would respect you in front of your friends, you're not ready to commit to such a person. And I read a lot of things, and people say that I thought he would change in the process. I thought these were teething problems. Once I commit, they'll change. No, people don't change. No, and you can't change anyone. People decide to change on their own. And I don't think anyone wants to get into a relationship whereby you are getting yourself responsibilities of changing an adult. You have a choice. And somebody said the other day that God may not dictate who you're going to marry. He has sometimes given people choices, and he does give people choices. You can choose. So look at that person. Have they respected you? If they disrespect you in public, that's quite what you call a red flag. Yeah, somebody again, what is their emotional intelligence levels? Once you get late for coffee, like by 2 minutes, do you find that they are gone? And I don't wait for people for more than 30 seconds. You know, that kind of a thing.
Boy child wameachwa juu ya hiyo brother. Napenda natoka kwako.
Yeah. So all those things, you look at them, and the question at the back of your mind must be, is this what I want to live with for the rest of my life? Do I want to live with somebody who really cannot wait for me for 10 minutes?
Wow. We'll take a short break. We come back, we continue this conversation here. Yeah, it's the truth and nothing but the truth. And we're going to give it to you like that because I love you so much. I want you guys to date right. I want you guys to get into relationships that will get into marriage and, sit here 25 years later and talk to people about marriage. You know what? I'm actually taking notes. Tumeenda nyumbani kuimplement vitu.
Shajara ya biashara na Dolly Mwirigi.
Hujambo. Kenya na Japan zimetia saini mkataba wa ushirikiano wa sekta za umma na kibinafsi katika sekta ya uchukuzi. Utiaji saini huu ulifanya kati ya waziri wa barabara na uchukuzi nchini Kipchumba Murkomen na waziri wa ardhi, miundombinu, uchukuzi na utalii wa Japan Kokuba Konosuke pembezoni mwa kongamano la pili la miundombinu bora kati ya nchi hizo mbili lilofanyika jijini Nairobi. Kenya imeshirikiana na Japan katika kutekeleza miradi mbalimbali katika kipindi cha miaka 60 ya uhusiano. Miradi hii inajumuisha ujenzi wa barabara Ngong jijini Nairobi na ujenzi wa madaraja katika kaunti ya Mombasa na Kilifi. Japan pia inahusika katika utekelezaji wa miradi mipya mikubwa kama vile ujenzi wa daraja la Mombasa Gateway ambalo litakuwa refu barani Afrika. Kwingineko ni kwamba kampuni ya Bamburi Cement imepitisha hatua za kimazingira ili kuzuia uchafuzi wa vumbi la makaa ya kuchimbwa katika kaunti ya Mombasa. Anajiri baada ya wenyeji kulalamikia uchafuzi unaosababishwa na upepo ambao haujawahi kushuhudiwa wakati wa kuandaa hifadhi makaa hayo katika kiwanda chake. Baadhi ya hatua zilizochukuliwa kwa ushirikiano na kitengo kilichogatuliwa ni pamoja na kusimamisha shughuli fulani, kutekeleza hatua za ziada na kuunda kamati. Hata hivyo, kampuni hiyo imesema kuwa itaendelea kushirikiana na serikali ya kaunti, idara ya afya umma, idara ya mazingira Mombasa na washikadau wengine ili kupata suluhu. Nakomea hapo kwa sasa. Mimi ni Dolly Mwirigi Mbuvi.
Shajara la biashara.
Hope FM, another quality service from Christ, is the answer ministry.
Some may trust in horses, others in chariots, but I'll trust you. Yes, I'll trust you. Even when it doesn't seem like it makes sense, I will trust you. Yes, I'll trust you. Every day, if you know they my side. Many things I for don't go this side. Many things where for don't ruin my life. If nobody say you to keep me for mine. Where I for day, if you know they my side. Many things I for don't go this side. Many things where for don't ruin my life. But hey, they keep me for mine. Good God, oh, you be good God. You just show yourself, you be good God. Good God, oh, you be good God. You just show yourself, you be good God.
I have found the hand that holds it together. I found you. I found you. I have heard the voice that pierces the darkness. I hear you talking. I
Slimo Blaze and Ada Ehi playing here in the station. Now listen and leave Hope FM. And this is the afternoon switch show. And on Thursdays, you know, we always get back to matters relationship. We call this the Switch Relationship Talks. We're just looking at, how to know he or she is is the one. You thought it will be, 10 things to note. Number 9 will shock you. These are things you see and maybe you avoid or you lenga or you think they are not as important as they are being put right now. Call yourself for a Moshemanio. Mr. Masharia.
Yes, please.
Now, you've looked at, somebody talked about converging, the faith and the likes and the aspiration things into one, and you said you looked at those things, then you decided, I'm going to take the next step. With the internet and how people, and of course, people meet, it's easy, it's cheaper nowadays, than Kitambo. A boy child here who has seen a girl, a lady out there, maybe approached a lady, and they have looked at all these things. Na kama india kiata kwa maombi, wengine wameoneshwa Sister Joy. Sister Joy amekataa mambo yake. And they are convinced, Sister Joy is the one. What did you tell such a brother? Ameenda katoloni mlimani. Ameambia Mungu, is Sister Joy or I die? And Sister Joy has refused. Because unakataliwa.
Yes.
Unaweza arudi mara ngapi before aseme hapa labda nimeona force issues?
Yes, that's a very good question, because there are many boys or young men, boy child, anakataliwa mara mingi. Na umeomba kweli kweli, unajua God has spoken. First is, if you are sure she's the one, then persistence pays without being so much on two. There's a way you can be on the other person's presence until you scare them. So you need to know what are your boundaries. And if she's rejecting you and she's not even saying, give me time to pray, she outright is telling you, it's a no. Of course, it's good to first check. Is she, let me not use the word I wanted to use, akona mtu mwingine? Because she could be in a relationship. Actually, she could be planning her wedding. And you are here,
Nimekuona kwa ndoto.
insisting, Mungu ameongea. Na Mungu hajaongea kwa yeye. During my days, tulikuwa tunasema, hata mimi wacha niende niombe. Hiyo Mungu alikuambia, wacha hata mimi aniambie. So, in this case, the best thing will be, it's good, and that's why Anne talked about being able, even sometimes, to share with a few other people. Right people, because there's somebody else you can tell, I have interest in this girl. And now they see the opportunity also to go in there, also to get her. So not every friend is one really telling there, but you can tell people who are genuine, and they can tell you, especially those who know her. Her friends are very important, because those ones can give you some leakage. Could it be timing that is wrong? You see, Anne wanted a particular time, and by the grace of God, I happened to fit into her timing.
So if you'd come early, ungepigwa wait kidogo.
You see, so her friends can easily tell this boy child, shida iko wapi? Nini kwani akona mtu? Ama maybe she's not even thinking about the relationship of now because of what she has gone in the past. And you are here also coming. And you're coming and pushing and saying what God has spoken and so forth. So it's good always to retreat and look at your steps and see, how else can I go? Because sometimes when your heart is into a person, every day you dream about them, you think about them, you see them, you're not able to see others and so forth. But the moment you're told, don't, she's already with somebody and they're going ahead, then you know, there I need to go back to my prayer closet and
maybe it was another joy.
Yes.
So there's more than I also get prayer. Karisa, I have the spirit of rejection in me. Cast out the spirit of rejection. There's more to a girl telling you no than just you having a spirit of there is also the aspect of maybe they are going through something. Maybe they are also having their plan. They are enjoying their me time season. Yeah, so also going to that extent. Also there is the reality of uliona zako na unaweza rudi kwa mkutano uone tena.
Yes. And maybe the way you are packaged. The way you are packaged, because at times we want to go the raw self. Kijana ametoka tu na huko kwa kichaka. But there's now, once you get to the, we prepare for jobs. When you're going for an interview, you prepare for, even preparing to come here, you have to put yourself in the proper frame of mind. But then you just go and start kuropokwa. You are not willing to go the right steps. So vijana, sometimes we smoothen out the rough edges.
We can have a session for the boy child. Ya kuprepare.
Yes.
Hapo wanapigwa minus mingi sana hapo. There are things I tell my wife because now I'm a ghetto boy. And she's like, ungeniambia hivyo before nikuoe. Ama ningesikia ukiongea hivyo before ningeangalia kwanza. Because they're like, my people don't talk like that. Or they don't look at things like, at times I just joke around. Let's talk to...
Can I mention one other thing?
Please do.
A young man was rejected by a lady, and what the lady said is, this man, he's a professional salesperson. He's always dressed in suits. The way salespeople, especially in the insurance industry, and I'm not belittling any career, you need to be packaged nicely and so on, tie in a suit, even if it is hot. This lady wanted an easy person. Come in your jeans, in your jackets. Let's go out when you're easy. When we go to eat, don't chew. Everybody's hearing you chewing and swallowing. So that's part of the packaging. So I think that's a topic that we can have for them.
We need that. We need that. Another conversation maybe we can put on the loop is, love and rejection, or telling somebody no in a way that you don't demean them. Wengi wamekulishwa nje bana, mbona anaenda jana mtu ana sura kama kiatu bana. So jamaa amekulwa na ametukano. Tutaongelesha ladies hiyo pia in the way. Mrs. Macharia, what is it with ladies refusing to enter box the first time, the second time? Is it like a thing, a check, like ndio pia boy child I like because we have you here? There's some, hata ukiuliza wengine alinikataa mara 3 lakini sikuchoka. Like it's a thing we glory around, but young men nowadays are not patient bana. Kataa mara moja unabaki ukiregret. And then maybe you've seen all these things, you've seen the faith aspect is there, tumekuwa friends pale, tumeona tunaweza goals ziko set, ana respect watu wangu mara moja mbili umeinteract now. What is it in kukaa ngumu ma ku-act ngumu na kukubali baadaye?
Okay.
Master Boy Child, sweat.
It's important that they sweat sometimes. It's good. Tabia mwanaume ni kukaa ngumu. You must there's something very nice about being pursued. It's nice, makes you feel nice as a girl. It's very good. But it also depends on how you are socialized again. There are some of us, especially from that generation, maybe a lot of us are already married and stuff like that. We knew that however much you love a person and you can feel the attraction, you feel you love this person, your knees are weak, you must play hard to get. That is how we are socialized. But with time, of course, somebody softens. So it's important that the boy child doesn't give up very fast. Yeah, so when she says no the first time, just like Peter said, go and evaluate, find out, could she be in another relationship? Could she be healing from maybe a heartbreak? could she be having difficult things she's dealing with at the family level? Like I said, in my case, there are things I really wanted to do. Are there things that really somebody wants to do? Do they want to take that master's course? Do they want to change jobs? Do they want to build a house for their parents, which they may not tell you at that stage? What is it that is really making them say no at that particular time? And this brings in the essence of maybe not necessarily making your intentions known very early. Be friends. Find out what's going on around this girl. So that by the time she's saying no, you have maybe an idea of the things she wants to say. And you can have a very easy conversation. Now, apart from that, the other reason as to why some girls might put you on hold for a long time is because they are afraid of telling you no. I cannot be married by somebody who looks like you or who is in your sort of career. You know, those things matter nowadays.
They do.
That's the conversation around relationships. Who is he? What does he do? What is his tribe? And those kind of things. So this person may be afraid of telling you, I cannot just do that. So they keep going round and round in circles. And what can break that kind of thing is to ensure that people have honest conversations. Develop a friendship whereby we have flawless conversations about life, about where I grew up, what have I been through, what do I want to do in the future. And these things, you can pick them. You actually do not have to ask direct questions. Like, give me 5 of your goals.
Like the agenda of our next date.
You know.
Is where I want to be in 5 years from now.
Those kind of things are stifling and you feel like you are running out of breath. But if you develop friendship, you go out on coffee dates, visit each other, be in each other's lives, kiasi, you'll be able to pick them. And you find if she's going to say yes, she will tell you, give me time to pray. Today is Thursday. And next week, Thursday, she will tell you, oh yes, the Lord has spoken. Not exactly that way, but she has known all along that you are her kind of person. So what we would advocate for is an open kind of conversation, free, flawless conversations, friendships, so that you're able to pick these things, so that it doesn't come to you as a shocker, you know. A lot of boy children have been in this, where you don't know even her other name. You haven't had a conversation on what she likes, what she would like to do in the future. Then you just drop. Maybe she doesn't even want to get married. And then you just drop the question, will you marry me? And she's like, hey, no.
Sasa umeita watu, watu mehaya ndege, inashukisha engagement ring. Alafu, thank you for
Yeah.
I feel whoever has been listening to this conversation knows what to look for. You know, for me, the friendship aspect has really stood out in what the two of you are saying. Like, you can have conversations. There's also an agreement in matters faith. And nowadays, when you talk about faith, it goes deeper than nimeokoka. Yeah, you really have to also spend time in observing. And also, once you've merged all these things, then you know, you talk about it, and then unaweza pigwa a stopper kidogo. Don't give up. Boy child wanachoka haraka na sifurahi. Mr. Mashari,
tafadhali wasichoke haraka. They need to know they are going for the wrong hole. You can imagine if you've been married for the next 50 years and you're getting tired after pursuing her for a few weeks or months, and are you willing to spend the next 50 years? And with all the challenges that come, so be ready if you are getting into an institution. But I wanted to say something.
yes, sir.
There will be somebody that you'll get into conflict with, and the next time they will not talk to you. There's another one you get into conflict with, and you realize you're able to overcome, you're able to talk about it. And conflict is very important in a relationship. Actually, when we talk to people about premarital counseling, sometimes we ask them, have you had a conflict, a real conflict? And they say, oh no, we are just natural, we love each other. I have told some of the couples, please come back after you have had a conflict. Know how to resolve the conflicts. And if you can continue engaging talking well, you are able to, they know your weaknesses and so on, and you can be able to continue the relationship, then that's a tick.
Wow.
Because marriage is a lot of conflicts.
Nice one.
Yes.
Wow. That's a good start. And someone is saying, invite them again and again. We are going to have them next Thursday. And I have questions that have come in. What I'll do, I'll take these questions. I'll also post, I'll send them to you. Then next Thursday, when we start, we can answer those questions before we continue with the next segment. Indio.
Correct.
So far, thank you for coming. Thank you even for creating time. I know you are busy people. I know you're very busy people. For this 1 hour you've created for us, I say asante sana.
Thank
And
you.
looking forward for next Thursday. And don't take these conversations lightly. They are very, very important. You know, we want you to date in the right way. Somebody is sitting here, they've been married for 25 years. And you know, nowadays marriages ni kazi mepatiwa lifespan. Shetani ameingia hapo. You know, think of you in a marriage for 25 years.
Yeah.
These are people who are telling you what to do. You have to listen and do them. Wow. Thank you so much, the Masharias. Mungu awabariki.
Amen.
There's something I wanted to say. Without time,
No, asante sana. We just wish the young people all the best.
Yay.
They will make it.
They will make
They
it.
will.
Yeah.
Are you guys on social media? If somebody wants to get you there or to ask a question, to follow you guys.
She's on Facebook. And
We'll give that next year.
I am.
Thank you guys for your time.
All right.
Thank you also for tuning in, and I've seen your appreciation messages. We take it